Hi, sir or madam. My name is Anglo Nurusida binti Mohammed Su, and my student ID is DN1221039, and I'm from batch 26A. So today I will start the presentation with introduction. Firstly, is definition of financial crimes. Financial crime is a type of property crime that involves that unlawful conversion of ownership of property belonging to one person to one's own personal use and benefit. Financial crime may involve fraud, check fraud, credit card fraud, mortgage fraud, medical fraud, corporate fraud, securities fraud including insider trading, bank fraud, insurance fraud, market manipulation, payment point of sale fraud, healthcare fraud, theft scams or confidence tricks, tax evasion, bribery, sedition, embezzlement, identity theft, money laundering, and forgery and counterfeiting, including the production of counterfeit money and consumer goods. Over the last 30 years, governments around the world have become increasingly concerned about financial crime. This concern stems from a number of issues as the impact of financial crimes differs depending on the context. Today, it is widely acknowledged that the prevalence of economically motivated crime in many societies poses a significant threat to the development and stability of economies. Financial crime can be divided into two distinct but closely related types of behavior. First, there are those activities that generate wealth dishonestly for those who engage in the conduct in questions. Second, there are financial crimes that do not involve the dishonest taking of a benefit, but rather protect or facilitate the taking of a benefit that has already been obtained. Next, I will present about COVID-19 situation in Malaysia and also internationally. The COVID-19 pandemic has infected over 131 million people worldwide and killed over 2.8 million. During this early stage of vaccination, most countries are still on lockdown. The goal of this research is to shed light on the consequences of the pandemic of financial crime and regulatory compliance. This study aims to examine the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on financial crime and regulatory compliance. The analysis should help to identify the factors that contribute to the challenges or opportunities associated with financial crime. This eventually provides insights for future studies to investigate how the pandemic might affect the UK's banking sector. The COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic is having a significant impact on our societies, as well as the world's financial and economic system. The socio-economic impact of the crisis is likely to be devastating and exacerbate existing socio-economic inequalities in various societies. Analysts believe it will have a significant negative impact on the global economy. Global GDP forecast for the COVID-19 pandemic had previously been reduced from a 4.5% decline to a 2.9% decline. The global GDP is expected to be around $87.55 trillion in 2019. So, a drop in economic growth equals more than $3.94 trillion in lost economic production. COVID-19 containment measures are an effective strategy for impacting the criminal economy and changing criminal behavior so that profit-driven criminals may shift to other forms of illegal conduct. People have changed the way they meet, buy, work, and even criminalize. They are also doing it differently. How true is this? Do criminals take advantage of the pandemic's opportunities? Or are they also hampered by the inability to commit crimes? If criminals use digitalization to their advantage, anti-crime regulatory compliance will be difficult for financial institutions. If criminals suffer, anti-crime regulatory compliance will suffer. COVID-19 is affecting not only Malaysia, but all financial institutions worldwide. Remote work may cause delays in the timely submission of suspicious activity reports to the Financial Intelligence and Enforcement Department at the Central Bank of Malaysia. Criminals may try to exploit the current situation to compensate for financial losses. Citizens and businesses in trouble may engage in illegal activity. The impact of the COVID-19 outbreak could be mitigated if financial institutions implemented critical measures such as effective regulatory compliance and strong cybersecurity. The pandemic's impact on e-commerce and the growth of fintech digitalizations has been rapid. The KYC system was implemented in the financial sector to facilitate this paradigm shift. Interbank transactions are expected to speed up in response to the BNM's recommendation to improve traceability. Criminals benefit from the ease with which they can commit fraud. Terrorist organizations are adaptable and persistent, growing stronger in adverse conditions and outperforming their peers. They will use the COVID-19 to recruit, radicalize, and plan attacks against us. This study examines PwC survey reports from 2014 to 2020 to examine the pattern of financial crimes in Malaysia.
Hi, I am Dhanashmi Armugam, matrix number DEM1222011, batch 26A. The scope of financial crime during COVID-19 pandemic. Maintaining the integrity of the financial market is a key objective for the FCA. In the current climate, it is important for firms to maintain effective systems and controls to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. Criminals are already taking advantage of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic to carry out fraud and exploitation scams through a variety of methods, including cyber-enabled fraud. Those seeking to launder criminal proceeds or finance terrorism are likely to also exploit any weakness in firm system. We are already working with partners in law enforcement, such as the National Economic Crime Center and ECC, to share information on COVID-19 related financial crime, and will continue to do so as new risks emerge or as criminals change their approach. It is important that firms remain vigilant the new type of fraud and amend their control environment where necessary to respond to the new threats. This should include the timely reporting of suspicious activity reports of any new threats. While we recognize that the current climate may give rise to operational challenge in relation to financial crime system and controls, firms shall not seek to address operational issue by changing their risk appetite. For example, firms shall not change or switch off current transaction monitoring triggers or transaction screening system for the sole purpose of reducing the number of alerts generated to address operational issues. However, we do recognize that while continuing to operate within the legislative framework for anti-money laundering and counter terrorist financing, first may need to reprioritize or reasonably delay some activities. This could include ongoing customer due diligence review or reviews of transaction monitoring alerts. We will consider such delay reasonable as long as the firm does not risk specific. For example, review for high-risk customers should not be delayed unless absolutely necessary. There is a clear plan to return the business as usual review process as soon as reasonable possible. The challenges of detecting terrorist financing remain, and firms must not weaken their control to detect such high-risk activity. Where a firm collecting information from an exceeding customer regulation 31 of the money laundering regulation requires the account to be closed where information is not provided. However, in the current situation, we expect firms to make reasonable effort to collect this information or consider whether the other way of being reasonably satisfied with the customer identity before taking a decision to close the account, where firms need to amend their controls in response to the current circumstances. Decision should be clearly risk assessed, document, and go through appropriate governance. We expect firms to notify us any material issues that are impacting effectiveness of their financial crime controls or causing significant delay and remediation plans.
Thank you to the previous person for giving this opportunity to present about my part. I would like to present about the scope of financial crime during COVID-19 pandemic. Client identity verification, flexibility within existing requirements. Restrictions on non-essential travel have affected firms' abilities to use traditional methods to verify a customer's identity. During this period, we expect firms to continue to comply with their obligations on client identity verification. The MLRS and Joint Money Laundering Steering Group guidance already provide for client identity verification to be carried out remotely and give indications of appropriate safeguards and additional checks with which firms can use to assist with verification. For example, firms can already use a combination of the following where appropriate. Accept scanned documentation sent by email, preferably as a PDF. Seek third-party verification of identity to corroborate that provided by the client, example, from their lawyer or accountant. Ask clients to submit digital photos or videos for comparison with other forms of identification gathered as a part of the onboarding process. Place reliance on due diligence carried out by others, such as the client's primary bank account provider, where appropriate agreements are in place to provide access to data. Use commercial providers who triangulate the data sources to verify documentation provided. Use digital identity solutions to identify customers where a firm considers that the solution provides an appropriate level of assurance as to a person's identity. Gather and analyze additional data to triangulate the evidence provided by the client, such as geolocation, IP address, verifiable phone numbers, emails, and physical addresses by sending codes to the client's address to validate access to accounts, and seek additional verification once restrictions on movement are lifted for the relevant client group. The examples provided do not represent a relaxation of requirements or suggested that taking one of the measures in isolation will be appropriate or sufficient verification. Any steps firms take to verify identity must be in line with their overall risk assessment and the risk profile of the customer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Panisha, matrix number DM1221130. Today I'm going to present about the challenges faced by regulatory bodies to detect and prevent the financial crimes. There are many challenges that faced by financial institutions. Those are the examples of the challenges. Financial institutions must balance their commitments to submit information to important regulatory with their efforts to improve their capacity for preventing and detecting financial crimes. Regulatory comments call for more accurate reporting of questionable activities rather than a high volume of filing. Due to lengthy deployment schedules, many businesses find it difficult to integrate artificial intelligence and other cutting-edge detective techniques with legacy monitoring system in the setting. Financial institutions must balance their commitments to submit information to important regulatory with their effort to improve their capacity for preventing and detecting financial crimes. Regulatory comments call for more accurate reporting of questionable activities rather than a high volume of filing. The obligation to address those objectives at a lower cost and with fewer resources is ever present and expanding with the development of fintech competition with lower cost business models. This is true even as the relevant regulatory pressure continue to increase. Those are the examples of regulatory pressure. There are 7 examples of it. Risk and capacity alignment. In order to align program, design or real-world risk offered by consumers, goods and locations, regulatory standards are continuously rising. Regulatory require proof of how KYC system is affect detective abilities and risk assessment, and vice versa, in line with pressure of high reporting quality. Use of cutting-edge technology. Financial services business continue to experiment with various AI and automation levels. but Thai implementation schedules are a result of legacy data and system issue. Due to program problems with data governance, validation, and reporting, many businesses find it difficult to transition this capacity from the lab into production. Furthermore, existing technology capacities and operational procedures will need to be designed in order to accommodate and anticipate central bank digital currencies, rapid implementation. Getting used to crypto assessment, regulated businesses are under more pressure from rising fintech flames and non-blank consideration to permit users to uphold the both of federal and state government have put out new character for digital assessment to monitor to and address the new fraud and financial crime risk presented by crypto assets, both privately like Bitcoin and emerging government issues, flat digital currencies. The majority of business are not ready to make the necessary challenges to their financial crime program and the technology. The fintech companies have been developing more complex compliance programs at the same time, including the potent financial crime complement capabilities. Now, Vinodini will continue my part. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vinodini Jayabalan and my student ID number is DEM1221003. Thank you, Panisha, for explaining the points just now. Let me continue with the rest of the points from here. As we are still in the example of regulatory pressures, here are the remaining examples. A response to ransomware and cybercrime. Major fraud concerns resulting from cybercrime and holes in cybersecurity measures continue to be account takeover. ID theft, both attacks and synthetic ID fraud. Additionally, recent regulatory guidance has increased expectation that firms that may pass through the firm's custodial or account operations. This guidance includes red flag signs. A company-wide emphasis on financial crime and fraud. Regulators anticipate that business will constantly and cohesively measure fraud and financial crime risks across business divisions. In the areas of cyber and IT security, product-focused fraud, financial crime teams, corporate AML leadership, and regulatory reporting companies face the issue of collaborating across functional silos in areas that were formerly distinct functions. Many businesses may need to redesign their operating and re-operating system. Exposure to fraud connects to COVID-19. The legal requirements for business to identify and report suspicious conduct connect to COVID-19 relief program frauds and other new threats have expanded. Due to COVID-19, there has been a considerable surge in medical scams, imposter scams, money mules, unemployment insurance fraud, and cybercrime, changing the potential fraud and financial crime profiles. These theft costs losses beyond only money, reputational harm, and customer resentment are also major issues. Given the overwhelming number of relief measures and the haste with which they had to be implemented, ongoing and post-hoc reviews of COVID-19 relief schemes for fraud are serious and growing problems. Maintain the focus on punishments. As the number and complexity of sanctions programmers increase globally, economic penalties remain a major area of concern. Many businesses struggle to match their alert management and detective capacities for sanctions to the demand for rapid or quick payments and digital currencies. Processing times are impacted by the high volume of false positives produced and by legacy technology solutions and the significant amount of manual involvement they demand. There are 9 actions to take to prevent financial crimes. The first action is align the companies and clients' risk profiles with the preventive, investigative, and reactive capabilities. The second are create strong linkage between the teams that deal with fraud, cybersecurity, and financial crimes inside the 3 lines of defense globally to reduce internal friction and duplication of work. Create and implement target operating models and responsibilities linking first and second line activities. By incorporating cutting-edge technological solutions such as improved analytics capabilities, fraud procedures, and technologies can be operationalized. Automations and new capabilities are used to respond to risk change quickly. Ethical and compliance initiatives are integrated for scalability and ongoing accountability, create effective tools for combating financial crimes and reporting suspicious activity that contains sufficient and useful data. Enhanced coordination and cooperation amongst the functional groups in charge of preventing, identifying, looking into and reporting probable fraud, gather risks and losses from all business lines. Then create the right KPIs to track changes. Lastly, create efficient strategies for accelerating the uptake of crypto assets and addressing the innovative compliance issues that existing and planned crypto and digital assets, especially those with anonymous fictionally bring. Let's get to another point. The patterns of financial crimes in Malaysia before and during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic impact on financial crime and regulatory compliance in Malaysia. Providing a conceptual explanation and analysis of the COVID-19's effects on financial crime and regulatory compliance is the goal of this essay. A comparison of the financial crime and regulatory compliance tendencies before and after the COVID-19 outbreak is made as a part of the analysis. The effect of COVID-19 on financial crime and regulatory compliances is contextualized in this essay. Additionally, based on surveys conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers and Deloitte, this report investigates several conceptualizations of the COVID-19 implications in terms of financial crimes and regulatory compliance trends.
Hi, my name is Logubani Manimaran and my matrix number is DEM03222026. From here, I'm going to take over the points from my friend Vino. So let's begin. As the result of the COVID-19 outbreak, possibilities and obstacles are now present for financial crime and regulatory compliance. Regarding the tendencies of financial crime, the study found a decline in physical crime and an increase in cybercrimes. Nevertheless, our investigation discovered that there was insufficient regulatory compliance even before COVID-19 epidemic, let alone during the pandemic. According to this study, financial institutions must work together and with authorities to lessen the risk from financial crime. Massive advancement in digitalization and strong risk management are needed to combat the highly advanced fintech skills. To boost regulatory compliance, businesses must fully take advantage of the government-sponsored funding programs designed to assist them, particularly small enterprise. Many studies have looked at how COVID-19 has insulated the economy, but there are still few materials that compare evolution of financial crime and regulatory complaints, let alone affect the COVID-19 epidemic before and after. The challenges associated with the COVID-19 impact, financial crime and regulatory compliance in Malaysia are all addressed for the first time in this paper. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jishnu and my ID number is DEM062148. I would like to talk about the conclusion. In short, while some studies discuss the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, there are still scarce resources on the comparative analysis on the financial crime and regulatory compliance, not to mention the before and after effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Digitalization and robot risk management need to improve at a massive level to beat the criminals' high fintech skills and systems. The initiatives of fund packages from the government to assist the companies, especially the small firms, need to be fully used by the companies to improve regulatory compliance. This is the first paper to integrate the issues surrounding the COVID-19 impact, financial crimes and regulatory compliance in Malaysia. Thank you.